the beginning.
I feel at home in the ocean. That's the only place I feel free.
Today from the film Bigger Than Me, as we said, we've got the director, Claire Gorman, and the subject, Wrenna Delgado, two major people in the making of this film. First of all, thank you guys so much for coming to talk to us about the film and presenting your film at the festival. And congratulations on 5 nominations. Holy cow.
Thanks for having us. It's pretty exciting to be talking to everyone from the other side of the world.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a global Q&A right here. This is incredible. How did you guys first become connected? How did this whole journey start?
We were introduced by a mutual friend a bit over 10 years ago now, and I just started filming Wrenna. The first interview was the one that you've seen when she's sitting on the beach, really animated with, yeah. So that was our very first interview together, and we just connected, and throughout the process, we've become really good friends. And yeah, the rest is history now, I guess.
And the title, so Bigger Than Me, referring to like the quality of the waves and how they like overpower you. How did you decide on that being the title, like the overarching first thing people hear about the film?
I think it came out in one of the interviews where Wrenna said those words, and I think together we just thought it was a cool title because it not only covers, the fact that she's surfing big waves, but it's also more about kind of like it's not just about her, it's like it's bigger than her ego, this is something that's so big.
I mean, the movie is awesome, and I love that, surfing is a part of it, but it's about like self-discovery. And I think that I can't speak for everyone, but I know a lot of people that I've talked to on a deeper philosophical level, we're all kind of seeking that out, something that's bigger than, just our existence, something to connect to. And so the ocean for me was that. And through the ocean, I found a lot of healing and a lot of life expansion and mind expansion through that connection that was much bigger than just bigger than me. And so that's kind of the message that Claire decided she wanted to send out with the title.
What a beautiful message. That's real powerful. Yeah, I want to ask a little bit about your journey. So I know you were talking about working in the library and how like you didn't always like, there was like some misalignment with like the kids your age, like it wasn't always fitting in. Did you have an easy time like relating to adults, like in sort of the position you were in?
I was always homeschooled. And so in the homeschooling group, you interact with, people of all ages. And so I think that I was very much like a caretaker for people who are younger than me. I never felt a kinship to people who were my same age. And so I did connect with, people who were older than me. And I always felt like I was more of a peer with them, which is the biggest joke in the world. Because now that I am in my 30s, I can't imagine like being friends with a 14-year-old like I was thinking. And so I feel like, yeah, I did find myself gravitating towards people who were, had more life experience than I did. And I think really because I wanted to learn and grow and, just transcend what I was experiencing as a young adult and teenager.
And it is very impactful, like hear you talk about that stuff. So thank you for like sharing that stuff. And thank you for Claire for making it like that environment where that's comfortable. Claire, I do want to ask, so this is not your first like surfing feature documentary. So First Love was your first feature. What about surfing like especially speaks to you that you like make these films about it?
I grew up on Phillip Island, which is near Melbourne in Victoria, and my dad and my brother always surf. So and I started surfing myself a little bit, but never that seriously. But I think I just love the environment and I love the ocean. And so when I was really young, I started just filming my brother surfing, and we'd come back home and watch it with all his friends. And that's kind of just how I got into filming surfing, really. And even making films, because I'm self-taught. I never studied filmmaking. So yeah, when I was 20, in my early 20s, I made First Love. So it's a little bit over 10 years ago now. and that was a big success and kind of pushed me to start this film, because I was actually in Hawaii screening First Love when I started filming Bigger Than Me.
So you said you're self-taught, Claire. You worked a lot in like music videos, TV, in addition to your documentary. Since your first documentary, have there been any like especially important lessons or techniques or just things that you've learned that have helped you with this second feature?
I tend to just kind of let it happen organically. So with this film and with First Love as well, I just kind of I didn't have a plan set out necessarily, and I didn't know where the story was going to go. And especially with Bigger Than Me, because it was shot over such a long time, like 10 years, the story really evolved as we went because it was Wrenna's life, you know. So yeah, I don't know if that really answers the question.
Oh, it does. That sort of like organic approach to it. And is it the similar thing for like when you're shooting surfing, it's still, even though we're just watching it like a 2D screen, it feels very alive. We sort of get what Ren is talking about in like the experience of it. Is there any intentional techniques there to make sure like it still feels organic and alive, even though we're just watching it on a screen?
Well, I actually had some help filming the surfing by a cinematographer called Matt Catalano. So I won't speak for him because he did a lot of the really beautiful and amazing surf shots. But I did film some of the surfing, and it's actually really difficult to film big waves, well, for me, because it either requires you to be swimming in the water, and you have to obviously have a lot of fitness and stamina to be out in that kind of conditions. But also a lot of the waves break really far from the land, so it's difficult to get a good shot. So that was kind of a learning curve, and the film wasn't just about surfing and getting like the best surf shot. Yeah, but Matt did a lot of the amazing surf footage that you see in the film.
I'm going to toss it now to Tori for some more questions. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Yeah, so like as we were kind of just talking about, so 10 years, you filmed this film over 10 years. I would love to hear more about what the filming schedule was like. Obviously, we start with this lovely moment in your youth, and then we go forward quite a few years. Did you guys keep in touch during that period of time? Was there any filming that happened that we didn't see? I would love to hear more from both of you.
Claire and I, we created like a very strong bond that was more than just the filming. And Claire's, started a family during this time, and, she met her husband at this time. I met my husband, I had my daughter. And so we really have like a sister-like connection, even though she's in Tasmania and I'm in Hawaii. She's visited me. I went to her wedding in Phillip Island. So we've definitely, our relationship was so much more than just, a director and a sub. And I really appreciate that. That's one of the beautiful things. I think a lot of people find this in their life where there's those people you don't need to talk to every day. You just, when you click, when you're around each other, you just click, and that's the relationship that we have. And I really appreciate that. So as far as filming, I don't know, Claire, she's always like, hello, I need to film, or I need to do this. And I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So I don't know if you want to talk about that, Claire.
I think like generally we kind of filmed about 3 years apart each time, like probably 3 or 4 times that I went over to Hawaii. So it must have started when did it start? 2011, I think. And then we kind of like met up, every couple of years and kind of caught up to where Wrenna's life was at. As Wrenna said, there's hours and hours of footage, so it was really hard. Like the first few edits were about 3 hours long.
Since you filmed like so much, is there a moment or scene that you wanted to include the documentary that you didn't? I'm
really happy with all the parts that we put in it. there's nothing in particular that stands out that I think like, oh, I wish we could have had that part in there.
What advice would you give to any young women wanting to get involved in either filmmaking or surfing in general? This is for both of you.
More opportunities, I'm finding over the last few years, it feels like there's more opportunities for women in filmmaking. So that's really great. But I think the thing is, like, you just have to be so persistent, and you have to keep calling people and keep hassling, and all that side of it I find really difficult, because I just want to, do the creative side and the fun stuff and make the film. But as for all the producing side, I find that part really hard. But yeah, you just have to put yourself out there, and just don't take no for an answer.
If you get a no, that's an opportunity. There's something there. And whether the opportunity is to keep pushing for that thing, or if it's going to open up another avenue or channel that you never, thought of and couldn't even conceive of, just maintain that hope and keep pushing. And, it's hard for me because with the male dominated sport, like I have a lot of respect for male surfers, and I think, the surfing world, it has that kind of dichotomy that's frustrating to me, because I feel like the more we talk about it and make it like men versus women, it kind of like creates a disconnect between what we all just love, which is like, surfing waves and being in the ocean. And so I try, when I was younger, I was way more like, women power. And now I'm just kind of like, just be a good person and be kind and try to have empathy, and just meet everyone where they're at. And I'm glad that, there's a lot of women who are really pushing for equality in the surf world, because everyone's role model is going to look different. And so the more role models we have, the more women will, or young girls or young men, whoever, will be able to, tap into their potential or their passion or their interests. So there's enough space in the world for all of us. And, I really hope that young girls can see my story, which is not a success story, like, oh, look, she won this and she got that, and look at all these people and they look at her, and because that's not me at all. And I hope that they can see my story as, you can have a big passion in your life, and then that passion can stay with you and you can move on, in a sense. And so I hope that maybe one day I'll be someone's role model.
Someday, I think you might already be. Yeah, both of you. But thank you both for being these incredible role models for everyone wanting to get involved in filmmaking and surfing. How's your daughter and her relationship to water?
Yeah, she is definitely a fish. She loves the ocean, and I love that. And I think I really want to give her the space to explore that relationship on her own terms, which she does. So I just follow her guide, and it really makes me very happy. I feel very lucky that she just loves being in the water. She, surfing is kind of whatever. Like she thinks growing up on the North Shore is like normal, which is just crazy. So we'll see what she does with it. But as of right now, she's still a mermaid.
What's the best thing about surfing, and what's the worst thing about surfing?
The best thing about surfing is it's constant. You're never good at it. Even the best person in the world is always trying to achieve, being better. And I think that's so cool, because it's such a dynamic sport. And the worst thing about surfing, there is only one wave. And so it brings in a competitive element of, I really don't like the idea of scarce resources. And sometimes when the waves are really good, especially on a big day, it's a scarce resource. And so there's a lot of competition to get that wave. And so it brings in this element of, well, if you get it, then I don't get it. And I don't like that at all.
If you could hang out with any surfer from the past, who would it be?
I want to hang out with the guys who like looked at Ocean Beach and they were like, we're going to surf there. Or the people who just like, you know, were like, you know what? No one's ever surfed here before. I'm going to go there. I'm going to do that. You know, I want to have a beer with them and a round table with them.
What's your best post-surf meal?
This is something that me and my brother used to talk about all the time. What are we going to eat after surfing? I would say something hearty and substantial. So like in Hawaii, we have these, it's like, it's kind of like a big sushi roll, but it just has like tuna fish in the middle of it. That's really good. So like rice, seaweed, and then like tuna. Got to hit your fats, your carbs, and your protein.
If you could compete against somebody, who's that person, who's that dream person you would love to compete against, regardless of gender?
I would love to compete with Sarah Gerhardt, Mavericks OG, and Savannah Shaughnessy. And let me think of the rest of the lineup. Let's get Emily Erickson in there and a couple of the young ones. And then me and the old ladies, we would just like hang out and share a wave, and that would be it.
What have you learned about yourself through the making of your film, Bigger Than Me?
It's been a big journey for me, and I don't know, I think I've learned that I can do more than what I thought, you know, than what I thought I could. Just working with Wrenna has been so amazing. Like, I still find her inspiring just to my everyday life, you know, little things. And so I think that's been the best thing that's come out of this for me.
I feel like, you know, Claire and I have learned a lot from each other, and I really appreciate her and have learned, you know, determination. You know, she's really made it work, and she's really pushed hard, and she's done that while being a mother, being a wonderful mother and a wonderful wife. As far as something that I've learned about myself, I've really learned that like I am enough, you know, just exactly who I am and where I'm at in my life. Like, that is enough, and that's good enough. And to really find that self-acceptance, even though it is so cliche, you know, it's really, when it comes down to it, the people that you meet, the connections that you make, the relationships that you have, and the relationship that you have with yourself is the most important thing. And so I love that I've learned that, you know, halfway through my life, so that I can just enjoy the rest of it.